40 years working at the same company, and when I asked him how things were going, he said, Jim, I just can't seem to get ahead. The economy's bad, my boss doesn't appreciate me, and I just don't get the breaks other people get. And I looked at him and I thought to myself, here's a man who spent 4 decades blaming everything and everyone except the one person who could actually change his situation, himself. Let me tell you something that changed my life when I finally understood it. Most people spend more time planning their 2-week vacation than they spend planning their life. Think about that for a moment. They'll spend hours researching hotels, comparing prices, mapping out every detail of their trip. But when it comes to their own future, their own potential, their own success, they just kind of hope it all works out. They leave the most important journey of their life to chance, to luck, to circumstances, and then they wonder why they end up wherever the wind blows them. Here's what I've learned after all these years. Life doesn't respond to need. Life responds to deserve. And here's the harsh truth that nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs to understand. Your current results are a perfect reflection of your current philosophy. Not your hopes, not your wishes, not what you think you deserve, but your actual daily philosophy. The way you think, the choices you make, the habits you've developed over time. Everything you are today is a result of everything you've been doing up until this point. Now, that might make you uncomfortable. Good. Being uncomfortable is the first step toward change. See, you can't change the past. That's behind you. What's done is done. But here's the exciting part. You can change the future. You can change it starting right now, today, this very moment. But first, you got to be honest about where you are and how you got here. The truth is, most people are paying the price of neglect rather than the price of discipline. Let me explain what I mean. Neglect is easy. Neglect doesn't require much effort at all. You can neglect your health by eating whatever you want, never exercising, treating your body like it's going to last forever without any maintenance. You can neglect your finances by spending everything you make, never saving, never investing, never learning about money. You can neglect your mind by never reading, never studying, never growing beyond what you learned in school 20 or 30 years ago. Neglect is simple, it's comfortable, and it's killing your potential. But here's what they don't tell you about neglect. It has a price, too. And that price comes due later, with interest. The price of neglect is a life of regret, a life of I wish I would have, a life of watching other people succeed while you're stuck wondering what happened to your dreams. The price of discipline, on the other hand, weighs ounces. The price of regret weighs tons. I remember when I started to really understand this principle. I was in my 20s, broke, frustrated, going nowhere fast. And I realized something profound. I realized that I was spending more money maintaining my car than I was investing in my mind. I'd take my car in for regular oil changes, I'd make sure the tires were good, I'd keep it clean and running smoothly. But my mind, my own personal development, I was giving nothing. And then I had the audacity to wonder why my life wasn't going anywhere. See, your mind is like a if you plant good seeds and you water them and you tend to them every single day, you're going to get a harvest of good things. But if you neglect that garden, if you just let it sit there and hope for the best, you know what's going to grow? Weeds. Lots and lots of weeds. And those weeds will choke out any good thing that tries to grow there. Negative thinking, self-doubt, excuses, blame, doubt. Those are the weeds that grow in a neglected mind. Let me tell you about the cost of drift. Drift is when you're not really going anywhere on purpose. You're just kind of floating along, letting life happen to you instead of making life happen for you. And the scary thing about drift is that it's subtle. You don't wake up one day and suddenly your life is off track. No, it happens slowly, one small compromise at a time, one little excuse here, one rationalization there. You skip working out just this once because you're tired. You don't read that book because you want to watch television instead. You don't save money this month because there's something you really want to buy. And each one of these decisions, by itself, doesn't seem like a big deal. But here's what I've learned. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. And that's the key to both success and failure right there. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do.
Walmart's amazing gifts surprised every last who.
Walmart has Straight Talk 5G smartphones.
To do are also easy not to do. You know the most dangerous word in personal development? Someday. Someday I'll start eating better. Someday I'll start saving money. Someday I'll read those books. Someday I'll work on my skills. Someday I'll spend more time with my family. Someday I'll start my business. Someday I'll chase my dreams. Let me tell you what someday really means. Never. Someday is the graveyard where dreams go to die. Here's an exercise I want you to do right now. I want you to think about your current habits. Not the habits you wish you had, not the habits you're going to start next Monday, but your actual current habits. What do you do every day? How do you spend your time? What do you eat? How much do you read? How much television do you watch? Who do you spend your time with? How do you handle money? Now, project those habits forward. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, where are you going to be in 5 years? In 10 years? In 20 years? And be brutally honest with yourself. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make excuses. Just look at the trajectory. You're on, and ask yourself, is this taking me where I want to go? For most people, the answer is no. And that's a hard thing to face. But you know what's even harder? Waking up at 65 years old and realizing that you wasted your potential. That you had gifts, talents, abilities that you never developed because you were too comfortable, too lazy, too afraid, or too distracted. I call it comfortable poverty. And I'm not just talking about financial poverty, though that's part of it. I'm talking about poverty of ambition, poverty of effort, poverty of growth. It's when you settle for less than you're capable of. Because what you have right now isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. You can survive on it. You can get by. And so you stop pushing, you stop growing, you stop trying to become more than you are. But here's what I want you to understand. You weren't put on this earth to just get by. You weren't given talents and abilities and potential just to waste them. You're capable of so much more than you're currently doing. The question is, are you willing to pay the price to develop that potential? Are you willing to be uncomfortable for a while? Are you willing to invest in yourself? Because that's what this is all about. It's about making the decision that you're worth investing in, that your future is worth fighting for, that your potential is worth developing. And once you make that decision, really make it, everything changes. But you've got to start by being honest about where you are right now and accepting responsibility for it. Nobody else is responsible for where you are. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your boss, not the government, not the economy. You. Your life is your responsibility. And that's actually good news, because if you're responsible for where you are, that means you have the power to change it. You're not a victim. You're not helpless. You're not stuck. You're just at a crossroads, and you get to decide which direction you're going to go from here. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep drifting, hoping things will magically get better? Or are you going to take control, invest in yourself, and create the future you actually want? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. And the time to make that choice is right now. Now, let me tell you about a conversation that changed the way I thought about everything. I was giving a seminar years ago, and a young man came up to me during the break. He looked frustrated, tired, like he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. He said, "Jim, I need to make more money. I've got bills to pay, a family to support, and I'm working as hard as I can, but I'm just not getting ahead. What should I do?" And I looked at him and I said something that surprised him. I said, "Work harder on yourself than you do on your job." He just stared at me like I was speaking a foreign language. So I explained it to him. I said, "See, if you work hard on your job, you can make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune." Here's the fundamental truth that most people never learn. You can't earn more than you learn. Your income will rarely exceed your personal development. Why? Because you're not being paid for your time. You're being paid for the value you bring to the marketplace. And if you want to increase your value, you've got to invest in yourself. You've got to become more knowledgeable, more skilled, more disciplined, more valuable. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Let me say that again because it's so important. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Now, I'm not against formal education. I think it's valuable, it's important, it gives you a foundation. But what you learned in school 10, 20, 30 years ago isn't enough to take you where you want to go. The world has changed. Industries have changed. Technology has changed. And if you haven't changed with it, if you haven't kept learning and growing, you're falling behind. You know what I love about personal development? You don't have to change everything. You just have to change yourself. You don't have to change the economy. You don't have to change your circumstances. You don't have to change other people. You just have to change you. And when you change, everything changes for you. That's the miracle of it. When you get better, life gets better. Not because life changes, but because you've changed. See, you're not just a human being, you're a human becoming. You're constantly in the process of becoming something. The question is, what are you becoming? Are you becoming more capable, more skilled, more valuable? Or are you becoming more bitter, more stuck, more resigned to mediocrity? Every single day, you're moving in one direction or the other. There's no standing still. You're either growing or you're dying.
My name is Brian Murray. My sobriety date is September 8th, 2019. My life before treatment.
Still. You're either growing or you're dying. So let's talk about the three areas where you need to invest in yourself. First, and most important, is your mind. Your mind is your most valuable asset. It's where everything starts. Every achievement, every success, every bit of wealth you'll ever accumulate starts with a thought in your mind. So why wouldn't you invest heavily in making your mind as sharp, as knowledgeable, as wise as possible? I read books that made me wealthy, not just books that made me smart. There's a difference. I wasn't reading just to collect information. I was reading to transform my thinking, to learn from people who had accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, to develop a philosophy that would serve me instead of sabotage me. Let me tell you a story that shows you how serious I am about this. When I was in my 20s, barely scraping by, I heard about a seminar that cost $1,000. Now, at that time, I only had $1,200 to my name. That $1,000 seminar would take almost everything I had. My friends thought I was crazy. They said, Jim, you can't afford that. You need that money for rent, for food, for bills. But I went anyway. You know why? Because I couldn't afford not to go. I understood something they didn't. I understood that the information, the insights, the connections I would make at that seminar were worth far more than the money I was spending. I was investing in my future self. I was buying knowledge that could potentially change my entire life. And you know what? It did. That one seminar, that one investment in myself opened doors I didn't even know existed. The second area you need to invest in is your skills. You've got to become more valuable in the marketplace. Whatever you do for a living, you need to become exceptional at it. Not just good, not just adequate, but exceptional. And then you need to add more skills. Learn to communicate better. Learn to sell. Learn to lead. Learn to manage money. Learn to manage your time. Every new skill you acquire makes you more valuable, more irreplaceable, more worthy of higher compensation. They think, well, I already know how to do my job. I've been doing it for years. But knowing how to do something and being exceptional at it are two completely different things. And in today's world, average doesn't cut it anymore. Average is broke. Average is struggling. You've got to be better than average, and that requires constant improvement, constant learning, constant investment in developing your abilities. But here's the third area that people often overlook, and it might be the most important of all, your emotional capacity. I call it the emotional bank account. See, success isn't just about what you know or what you can do. It's about what you can handle. Can you handle frustration? Can you handle disappointment? Can you handle rejection? Can you handle failure? Can you handle criticism? Can you handle setbacks? Because let me tell you, on the road to any worthwhile achievement, you're going to face all of those things. And if you haven't invested in developing emotional strength, if you haven't built up your resilience, your persistence, your ability to keep going when things get tough, you're going to quit. at the first sign of trouble. You're going to give up when you're maybe just inches away from success. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. Someone starts working on their goals and everything's exciting and new for a while, but then they hit an obstacle. Things don't go as planned. They face some rejection, some
It's one, man. What's going on,
and
y'all?
instead of seeing it as part of the process,
How y'all doing today, man? Just giving y'all a little introduction of some good food, man. Some good knowledge on this good Saturday. I pray y'all in good spirit. I pray y'all understand that we are here. It's real life time right now, 2025. You know, it's a lot going on, a lot of new stuff, man. A lot of people, got a chance to let the world see them, and you ain't got to be famous. Used to be having to be somebody important to be on a TV screen. Now anybody can be on a TV screen. Ain't that so? So you ain't got to wait. All you gotta do is just get up and click on the camera. Unbelievable, right? But anyways, yeah, I want to talk about that Chicago thing, man. That Chicago thing, man. It's crazy, bro. And I'm kind of like a person that always say that times change. I'm a person that really be saying that we living in a different time now, dog. Like for real with these kids, man. I'm a person, from personal experience with just dealing with the young youth and trying to get just simple things taught to them. It's hard to get to them, man. I ain't lying, man. Seeing those young kids ain't nothing new to me, dog. And everybody around Chicago is nothing new to them either, man. That's why they like how they are. And they ain't really want to bash them and all that because I see everybody else already bashing the situation. They tearing them up. Just, everybody saying what they would have did. Everybody saying they would have killed the kids and all this shit, man. That shit is crazy. Everybody's saying exactly what is put out there for to be talked about, bro. Ain't nobody saying they gonna get the kids and the mama and pray with them and ask Lord God to take that spirit up out of them, dog. Everybody want to punish the people for punishing somebody. It don't make no sense, dog. That's why we at where we at. These kids punishing each other for no reason, bro. So y'all gonna punish them too, cause they ain't in their right mind. And everybody keep on talking about the parents, bro. Stop blaming the parents, bro. It's the system, bro. The system won't let you discipline your kids no more, bro. Stop saying it's the parents, bro. Stop, bro. Like the shit is like y'all dumb as fuck. The internet dumb. That's why you just can't you can't have this screen and that social media available to everybody, bro. Because half of the time people just be saying anything to keep shit going, dog. Like y'all don't understand that. That's why everything ain't made to be for the internet or the TV. Because you got really fucked up people in this world that be just egging on shit to keep it going, dog. And it's so sad that you can't point the finger at nobody. It's us. It's everybody as a people, bro. It ain't no one. It ain't no you on do it. He do it. Bro, you can't even do it like that, man. When everybody get punished, everybody. When one get punished, all get punished, bro. Come on, man. You can't be saying what you don't do if you ain't the one that's speaking up. If you got a big voice trying to change the shit, you just can't be sitting back like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use your voice for times like this here to just push for change. It ain't even about just one incident. It's just when it's time to step up and do it. Don't hesitate to speak, bro. Stop saying you don't want nothing to do with the shit. You get out there and you promote your album coming out. You promote controversy. You promote so much personal selfish situations, but you ain't never saying that you changed 100 people's lives, or you talk to young people that's struggling that want to be like you, but taking the wrong route to get there. Like people with voices need to understand when it's time to speak on shit. It ain't like I said. It ain't about one incident. It's about an overall change that the world needs, man. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, man. It's sad. It's just that when it gets to that point and you see this really going down in children, you be like, so we up under spiritual warfare. Straight up. I'm blaming no parents for that shit. Cause I'm a parent myself and I ain't gonna let nobody blame me. How the hell I'm gonna let somebody blame me for what these kids go out there do and learn and be around and get influenced? That shit ain't come out no house. How the hell they come out of house? No, you serious, bro? How the hell that come out of house, bro? People just be saying anything just to get a response or a comment. That ain't come out no damn house, man. How them kids act, man? How the hell? Are you serious? That shit come from they go out that door, man. That shit come from that social media. That shit come from people trying to, do what other people can and can't do. That's where that come from. Ain't no way in the hell a parent sitting down teaching them kids to do that. They picking this shit up and they doing it behind your back. What you talking about? You know? Then y'all keep on saying they kids. You right. So y'all want me to go beat the fuck out my kid? Because they did something to somebody else. So you saying that go beat the fuck out the kid still? Like y'all even wrong for saying that. They wrong for doing what they did, but now y'all even wrong for saying going to beat the fuck out the child. That don't make no sense either. Of course, the child need to be punished, but the child don't need to be damn like all that, because that's a child. A child still got their whole life ahead of them. What do you mean? So y'all want to kill the children? Dog, come on, bro. See, this is what we not going to do. We not finna play like there ain't never been no fights in this world. We ain't finna play like it's ain't never been nothing bad happen in this world, bro. Come on, bro. Ain't nobody taking up for them children. Them children gonna get theirs. They gonna get punished according to how they are. What do you mean? They don't need no adult punishment, bro. They still children that done y'all been cheering too. Show me a perfect person on this world, bro. You're not gonna find them, bro. But at the end of the day, man, as elders, man, that know how to really solve problems, man, stop talking about, man, the kids need to be fucked up and the mamas need to be fucked up, man. Come on, bro. Stop, bro. Y'all just as bad as them. Y'all 10 times worse than the people that committed that crime. If anybody's saying that those people need to be punished 10 times worse, then guess what? You just as bad as them. All right, just forgive them. Ask Lord God to forgive those children, man, and repent and change their ways. For if you want a chance, you should give those kids a chance the same way. For whatever punishment they get through the law, yeah. But all that other stuff, bro, stop it, bro. Quit it, bro. Everybody know how Chicago is, bro. It ain't nothing new. Before my time, before your time. Chicago just need a better environment, bro. They stuck in so much bad choices around that shit. You can see, look at the kids. Look at the kids, bro. They stuck with so much bad choices, man. The only thing they could do is get out from around the shit. It's like, don't never ever move to Chicago for everybody that's looking or whatever. Don't move to Chicago. Because it seems like you forced it as a child to adapt to an environment that results into this shit daily. Like, fuck the camera, what they seen with that. What about the shit daily that goes on in Chicago? See, people can't walk around with a camera every day for that. Because it'll be like, you have to shut Chicago down. You have to really shut it down. Look what's going on with the older men in Chicago that choose the gangs in the streets. They ain't surviving. All it's like they targets to the police and to the people who they going back and forth with. They dead. They walking dead. Even the females walking dead. Chicago is just a fucked up spot. And pretty sure it's a lot of fucked up spots all over the world, but it seems like Chicago fucked up. Baton Rouge was fucked up, but Chicago fucked up. The Chicago niggas fucked up. They seem like they just some type of savages to me. I ain't gonna lie. It's like they're a bunch of pack rat savages that just they bring each other down. They got the same thinking. They got the same thinking skills like Baton Rouge. They got the same thinking ways, the same talk. It's like they really controlled by where they grew up at, and it's so sad that they putting themselves out to a bigger world to be judged though. If you was putting yourself out to where you grew up at and you just got to worry about those little corners or those blocks judging you, that's different. But y'all putting yourself out to a big world with a lot of judges, a lot of opinions, a lot of different views of life, a lot of things that people are like, well, why you just won't do this and that? And people don't understand, like, when you there and you don't have the right type of mindset to elevate and get up out of there, then it's kind of hard to explain to people that's not there. But if we looking at this shit and we know this is a free world, you can walk from that state to that city. I feel like you got a choice. You get the fuck from around there, bro. Take your Section 8 somewhere else. Take your job somewhere else or start over. Like, if you got degrees, but if you just a product of your environment sitting around there wasting your time thinking that that's everything in life, then hey man, I can't say nothing to you, bro. Generations and generations done came through Chicago, man. And it's always been talked about like a real bad place. It need to change, bro. I say send the National Guard. That's what I say. I say send the National Guard not to punish people, but to change, bro. change the negativity bad that they got going on in Chicago. That's it. It's sad, bro. It's very sad, bro. The murder rate and the rate that they have for Chicago doing events and over the weekend sometimes is ridiculous, bro. Thousands of people getting killed and shot over the weekend events. Not just 12 or 11 people. Thousands, hundreds of people getting shot. How the fuck how these many people get killed? Where they at, bro? Y'all giving the police and the hospitals, dog. They can't even go home. They be having to pull 24-hour, 48-hour shifts fucking with Chicago, bro. That's sad, bro. That's wrath coming for that shit over there so bad, man. How them big ass floods be coming for all them places over there, man. Just pray for Chicago. Chicago got some wrath coming, boy. Some serious wrath coming in Chicago, dog. It seems like you can't do nothing about it because it's not no singly one person that controls it and think like that. It's kind of like all of them do, bro. Always putting stuff on dead people all the time. I never get that, bro. How y'all came up with that? Let them people rest in peace, bro. Why is y'all always putting stuff y'all living in real life on y'all people that's dead, bro? Why did y'all come up with that, bro? Let them people rest in peace, bro. Stop putting stuff on your dead mamas and your dead people, bro. Stop, bro. Why y'all waking them people up out the dead like that, bro? Come on, bro. This is why I say this new age temporary shit they got going on, man. Fade away, bro. Fade away. It's too aggravating to deal with, bro. It's too aggravating for y'all to deal with this shit. Y'all still try to do it. You know you can't win. No one ain't no beautiful ending to that shit, bro. It'll never be understood or accepted. It's point blank period, bro. Change your game up, man. I mean, for the ones that care, there's one that's listening, because if not, the ones that don't care, man, trust me, we already know how that go, quick, fast. Don't even feel it. You was here, you gone. You was here and you gone. You was here and you gone. You was here and you gone. Nothing but a memory, bro. I mean, we can't do nothing about it, but be thankful that we here living in it, that we seeing everything what's going on for anybody that's woke. And pray for Chicago, bro. Pray for Chicago, bro. And I'm gonna say it, it's not the parents, bro. It's not the parents, bro. It's the system, bro. They tricked us. We can't punish the kids. So that's what they get to go out in the public and do. Act like fucking animals, bro. You can give a human being the world and show the human being everything the right way. It's whatever their mindset, if God got inside their mindset to choose, bro. What can you do? Parents can't be parents no more, bro. Parents work hard, do all they supposed to do, and then guess what? Get called to the school. Your kid been smoking weed. You never knew your kid's been smoking weed, but you been working your hardest, been doing this and doing all that, and the kid choose to smoke weed. Because guess where he went at? Out that fucking door. You got to go outside, bro. If not, have him in the house. But other than that, man, it ain't no parent's fault, bro. It's system fault. It's society fault, bro. It's we as a people fault. Can't blame the parents, bro. You can't. I just feel like, man, we as a people done did this shit, dog. It's the women and the men that let shit go, that that your mama wouldn't, the daddy wouldn't let it go with you. If you in your 30s, if you in your late 30s and your 40s, you should automatically know, man, the parenting shit is over with these people, bro. And for whoever, I'm saying, that is a parent right now and got a child like that, to let your child go out the door with their pants hanging off their ass, or your young girl showing cleavage and all this fake shit, you a part of the problem. You poison. Point blank period. I ain't saying you a killer, you a murderer, no, you poison. You done made being provocative or inviting people to your ass normal. Little niggas, the little brothers or sisters, whoever, the little boys, they invite people to their ass. All they do is show their ass. I never understand that. Don't you know air is breathing through your ass cheeks for a man? That's the other side. And I ain't talking against the other side, but once you do that, that means you other side. That means you go both ways. That means you inviting somebody to your butt. Point blank period. You can't explain that. Same thing as a woman walking around with her shit jacked up in her pussy. What's she doing? She want everybody to know she got a fat pussy, right? So that means all you niggas that walk around with y'all ass showing, y'all want everybody to know y'all got a fat ass. How you gonna justify it? You can't justify it. It's what it is. Point blank period. And you know what I'm saying? This is what we done came to. Everybody want to make bullshit normal. And hey, accept it. If you're a part of it, accept it. If you're not a part of it, keep fighting for change, bro. Keep fighting for the man leadership to come back in this world. Because right now we up under a woman's leadership. And this is what we got. And you know, it is what it is. We got to deal with it because we here, we living. But we up under a woman's leadership right now. This is not a masculine leadership right now. This is women. Men trying to cater to women's selfish emotions and not trying to get cussed out and have to beat the fuck out one of them and go to jail for life. So a lot of men just submit to what they got going on, and this is where we at. We in a fucked up situation. It is what it is. How long it's gonna last? But just be thankful that you're here to witness it and don't get sucked into it. Don't be arguing with no dysfunctional women. If a woman is very misunderstanding with everything that she see and hear, let her go be with the people that understand her then. That's just all this. Stop fighting against God to put something inside of somebody that you got no control of. It's just what it is, bro. Point blank, period. We living in that times right now. Women are very belligerent to what the right is because they feel like because they're making their own money and all that, they don't need a man, can't tell them shit. Hey, it is what it is. I guess that's right for them, but not right for society and not right for further ship in life, you know? We fucked up like that. Cause ain't no such thing as a woman don't need no man in this world. It's a motherfucking lie. I don't give a fuck what you got. I don't give a fuck what you learn. Trust me, man. You can't change the laws of life, man. Quit it. We ain't finna play them games, man. We ain't even finna keep playing these games that got us in this fucked up situation right now. The shit gonna fade away. So have your fun all you want to right now, but we gonna get back to the real shit. And I bet that God's will, you be here to see it. This shit this turmoil shit, the shit gonna be over with. Trust me.
Or some disappointment. And instead of seeing it as part of the process, instead of using it as a learning experience, they take it personally. They let it defeat them. They quit. But the people who make it, the people who achieve their goals and build the life they want, they've invested in developing emotional strength. They've learned that failure is just feedback. Rejection is just redirection. Disappointment is just part of the journey. They don't let circumstances control their emotions. They stay steady. They stay focused. They keep moving forward. And let's not forget about your health. You can work hard, you can make money, you can achieve all your goals, but if you've lost your health, what have you really gained? You can't enjoy wealth if you don't have health. So you've got to invest in taking care of your body. Eat better. Exercise. Get enough sleep. Treat your body like it's valuable, because it is. It's the only one you get. Here's the key principle that ties all of this together. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work on your job, you make a living. If you work on yourself, you make a fortune. Most people have it backwards. They spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day working on their job and 0 time working on themselves. And then they wonder why their life doesn't change. But what if you flipped that? What if you spent just 1 or 2 hours a day working on yourself? Reading, studying, learning new skills, taking care of your health, developing your emotional strength? What would happen to your value in the marketplace? What would happen to your income? What would happen to your life? I'll tell you what would happen. Everything would change. Not overnight, but steadily, surely, inevitably. You'd become a different person. More capable, more valuable, more confident, more successful. And the beautiful thing is, once you become that person, nobody can take it away from you. They can take your money, they can take your job, they can take your possessions, but they can't take who you've become. That's yours forever.
Meet Ella McKay. Her job is a dream,
Would you like to hear about my favorite community health program?
God, no. But her family is a nightmare.
Did you cheat on Mom?
Not really. From writer-director James L. Brooks comes a comedy about finding yourself
I know I can make people's lives better.
without losing your mind.
You can use a scream. Tremendous feeling.
Ella McKay, rated PG-13. Only in theaters December 12th.
With Ally, spending on what you need can help you save for the things you want. We automatically scan your spending to find you savings. That's why we're the bank that's your ally.
become, that's yours forever. All right, so now you understand why you need to invest in yourself. But understanding isn't enough. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. So let's talk about how to actually do this. Let's talk about the practical steps you can take starting today to transform your life through personal development. First thing, set aside 1 hour a day for your personal growth. Just 1 hour. That's it. Now I can hear some of you already making excuses. Jim, I don't have an hour, I'm too busy. I've got work, I've got family, I've got responsibilities. Let me tell you something. You've got time for what you make time for. You've got an hour a day to watch television, don't you? You've got an hour to scroll through social media, to gossip with friends, to do things that aren't moving your life forward. So don't tell me you don't have time. You have time. The question is, what are you doing with it? Let me break down the math for you, because numbers don't lie. 1 hour a day is 7 hours a week. 7 hours a week is 30 hours a month. 30 hours a month is 365 hours a year. That's the equivalent of 9 40-hour work weeks spent on your personal development. Can you see what would happen if you invested 9 full weeks every year into becoming better, smarter, more skilled, more valuable? Your life would be unrecognizable in 5 years, completely transformed. But here's what most people do. They don't invest that hour, they waste it. And then they wonder why their life stays the same year after year after year. They're older, but they're not better.